Hey everybody, Joe Borey from Syncoplay Retro Gaming. If you look around behind me in my game room, you can probably tell I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Famicom. Right now I'm sitting at 587 unique loose cartridges in my collection out of a total of 1,051 released games for the Nintendo Famicom. So that's a little bit over 50%. Um, Over the last month and a half or so, I have received some shipments of some new Famicom games in order to kind of help flesh out my collection as I go for this full set. I thought I'd do something a little bit different and just go through these with you guys and talk about a little bit about what I know of each one. Some of them are completely new to me. Some of them might have something interesting to say. So let's get started. So if you look here, there's a few games on this tray. Since I've been busy with the Kickstarter campaign and just busy with a lot of different things, I haven't really gone through these since I've received the last couple of shipments. And I tend to buy bulk from Japan because you have to pay for the shipping, and the shipping costs quite a bit up front. So the best thing to do is to buy bulk so that you pay the shipping once, and then they just add, a few cents per additional cartridge, as opposed to paying like $18, $20 shipping for one cart. So let's start out actually with one that a lot of people will probably recognize. I've had Final Fantasies 1 and 2 in my collection for some time, but I never did have the cartridge for Final Fantasy 3. So now I do. I can just add that one to my collection. Now, Final Fantasy 3, as we know, is not the same Final Fantasy 3 that we got in the US. This is, in fact, a Japan-only game, as is the Famicom Final Fantasy 2. This one is in Japanese, but there are plenty of tools and translation patches out there that allow you to play it in English. So, looking forward to checking that one out. Next one I'm going to grab here is Mickey Mouse 3 by Kemco. So Americans got this game as Kid Clown. So if you ever played Kid Clown on the NES, that was actually a Mickey Mouse game in Japan. And in many ways, I haven't actually played it, but I know that this is Mickey blowing up balloons, using them to bounce around in the level and so on. So I believe it may be, gameplay-wise, somewhat related to another Japan-only Mickey game. It's basically Mickey's Adventures in Tokyo Disneyland, which I completed a few years ago, and that was a really fun game. So look forward to checking this out. Don't know if it'll be great, but it'll certainly be interesting. So let's see. Next one in here is Tom Sawyer. Now, there are actually two Tom Sawyer games for the Famicom. Let's see if I can quickly find the other one. If I can't, I will leave it so you guys don't have to wait for me. Oh, here it is. The other one is Square's Tom Sawyer, which is a Japanese RPG made by the creators of Final Fantasy based on the Tom Sawyer license, with some unfortunately very racist imagery that never made it to the US. This one, on the other hand, is a kind of a strange fantasy action-adventure game that is only really actually loosely based on Tom Sawyer. Is the Tom Sawyer characters and all that, but it goes some strange places. Again, I never actually played this one on the NES, so it'll be great to check it out. Let's see. TSS. That might be the publisher. This is most definitely a football game of some sort. Some of these games I'm not going to know right off the bat, but luckily I have my computer right here to help me figure out what I'm looking at. So let's see. Super Rugby is actually what we're looking at here. So this is a Famicom rugby game. I know nothing about it. Should be fun to check out. Now here we have Conflict. I believe this is a game that came out in the US on the NES, but once again, is definitely not a game that I played in the past. So let's take a quick look. Conflict. This is a hex-based strategy game. Yeah, don't know if it came out in the US or not, but either way, hex-based strategy game. Here's an interesting one. Famicom port of Valis. Now, I'm not sure how closely this matches kind of the original Valis games, but I've always been really interested in the series. Somewhere around here, I won't try to find it right now. Somewhere around here, I've got the Super Nintendo box copy of Super Valis. So it'll be fun to kind of check out the original on the Famicom. Let's see, this one really needs no introduction. We have Space Invaders. This is Pachicom, which is, I believe, a pachinko game. Pachinko games are very common on the Famicom. There were a lot of them, as pachinko is a very popular game in Japan. Let's see. This guy is Chaos World. So Chaos World is a strategy RPG, I believe. A little harder to get your hands on this one. Again, there are English translation patches for it because it is in Japanese by default. That should be fun to check out. We have Ikari, which in the US was released as Ikari Warriors. So, not a lot to say about that one. Here we have Parallel World. Now, this is one that I'm actually not sure what genre I'm looking at here, so I'm going to look this guy up real quick. Parallel World. This appears to be an almost Adventures of Lolo style puzzle, single screen puzzle game. Should be interesting to check out. Then we have the Japanese version of Gremlins 2. Now this one, I believe it was Game Dave that did a review on this guy, but Flying Hero. So this is, oddly enough, a Flying Hero is a firefighter. And so this is a firefighting game. I remember seeing a review on it. Be interesting to check out. Here we have Olympus no Tatakai, or Battle of Olympus, which came out in the US. Very much a Zelda 2 clone, I guess you could say. Now, I don't even know what this one is called, but I can very clearly see it is Yakyu. It's baseball. There are quite a few baseball games in Japan. Baseball is an incredibly popular sport over there. So, not sure if this is one that got released in the US or not, but we'll see. Here we've got Great Tank by SNK. Well, look this one up real quick. I would assume it's some kind of a military strategy game, but who knows? It could be a tank platformer for all I know. This appears to... Yeah, this looks a lot like Konami's Jackal. I like Jackal a lot, so yeah, Great Tank. Look forward to checking that one out. Here we've got 1942, a bottom-up shooter, came out in the US. This is a really odd thing to happen because this is a game built by Capcom in Japan where the Japanese are the bad guys. So, you know, a historical story where they set the Japanese pilots up as the enemy. Strange idea. We have North and South. This one came out in the US as well. Little expensive and hard to find in the US. Japanese version, I believe, went for quite a bit less. But then again, it's also in Japanese, so that may be why. Then we've got The Adventures of Lolo. Again, came out in the US. HAL Laboratory, single screen puzzler, push blocks around. Adventure of Lolo did some weird stuff. where some of the mechanics of the game are, they're almost bugs in the game. Like if you look at it from a game developer's point of view, some of the solutions, the actual canon solutions to a level, are taking advantage of physics bugs and collision bugs and so on, which makes it a pretty obscure game to try to complete. But interesting game for its time, for sure. Let's see. We've got some large cartridges here. So, interesting about Famicom, you've probably already seen that there's so many different colors. There are also occasionally larger cartridges. A lot of the time that's because they have additional chips and stuff in them. But this one is from Koei, and I have no idea what game I am looking at here. Easiest thing for this one might be to just look in my history. It's called Top Management. Okay, let's see. Top Management on Famicom. Business simulation strategy. Sounds fascinating. I say that somewhat sarcastically. Now, oh, this looks like it was probably, and coming from Koei, I can see this. It looks like it was probably a PC game first, brought to the Famicom by Koei. So that is Top Management. Another large cartridge here, Just Breed, which is a fantasy RPG from Enix back in the days when Dragon Quest and Crystallis and a bunch of those games were really big on the Famicom. Enix puts this guy out. This one might actually, oops, lost a game. This one might actually be a strategy RPG. Let me see, Just Breed on Famicom. Tactical role-playing game. Yeah, so it's actually looking a bit like the old Shining Force games. Huh. That should be fun. I know there's an English translation for that, so that's pretty cool. And we have Madara. So Madara is a Konami, I think it's another RPG from Konami. Let's see. Madara for Famicom. It's based on a manga, never localized. Yep, and appears to be a RPG with kind of the chibi big head character graphics and stuff. Cool. All right. Moving back to the smaller cartridges, we have Championship Bowling. Probably a bowling game. Let's see. This is Miracle Rope It Adventure. So this is a platformer of some sort. I really know nothing about it, but interested to add to the collection. I always love a good platformer that I never saw in the US. This one is Cosmic Wars. It's another Konami game, and that is all I know about it. And that is all I actually needed to know about it, because Konami's games were almost universally great on the Famicom. But let's see, lost another one. See, Cosmic Wars is a turn-based strategy game, so a little hard to get into. Oh, based on the Wars of the Gradius series. So that is interesting. Cosmic Wars is actually a strategy, tactical strategy game in the Gradius universe. That makes it interesting to take a look at for sure. Let's see. This is Titan by Titus. Titan. What is... This is a puzzle game, I believe. Let's see. Titan for Famicom. A puzzle video game similar to Arkanoid or Breakouts. This is one of those ball bouncy arcade puzzlers. Huh. That one should be fun. Alright, what else we got here? Oh, that I do not know. It's from Victor Musical Industries. They tended to be pretty hit and miss. So that's the game. Let's It's another one of those that, let's see. Surikichi Sanpei Blue Marine. Let's see. Surikichi Sanpei Famicom. It looks like it's based on an anime. And it is... Okay, what is this? A fishing simulation. We got another fishing game here. Hey, I have an open slot for a fishing game right there, so that one's just going to go right on the shelf. Cool. All right. Let's see. Another one I'm going to have to look up, I think. So this guy has a oddball name for sure. Hirake Ponkiki. What is this? Oh, based on a TV series, side-scrolling platformer. All right. Getting down to the last few here. We've got Gun Deck. I believe this came out in the US, and I believe it is a vertical scrolling shooter, but let me confirm that. Oh no! Ooh. Nope, I was wrong. This, in America, was Vice Project Doom. Cool. All right. That was a pretty great game, actually. Here we've got Metal Max. Another one I'm going to need to look up and see exactly what this is. This one might have come out in the US, but I still don't know anything about it. Role-playing series. Looks like it did not come out in the US. Oh wait, actually no, it may have. Yeah, either way, role-playing game. All right. This is one of, ooh, this is not in the best of shape. So when going for a full collection, I'll likely replace this with a better label version when I find one. But this is one of the Satsujin Jiken, or murder mystery style games. Yokohama, I believe, for this one. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to say that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. So this was a very, very popular genre in Japan back in the 80s. They are kind of the original visual novels. Portopia is actually like pretty much the originator of this genre. If you haven't seen Portopia, or the English translation is the Portopia Serial Murder Case, definitely worth checking out the English translation just to kind of see where that whole kind of murder mystery / visual novel genre started. Really interesting playthrough, designed by the same guy who would later go on to create Dragon Quest. So that guy had some massive impact on the games industry twice. This is another, not so much a game in that series, but a game in that genre, in that style of a visual novel murder mystery, which was a real big deal back then. Super C, or Super Contra. So we got this one in the US for sure. We got Puzz Slot, which I believe is a slot machine puzzle game. Look it up real quick, but I believe that's the case. Puzz Slot for Famicom. Oh, how interesting. This appears to be like Tetris, or columns in which you stack blocks up, but the blocks themselves are little slot machine reels. Sounds like it's going to be more interesting in concept than in practice, but I look forward to checking it out. We got Highway Star. If I remember right, this is Rad Racer. Let me make sure I am right on that. Highway Star, Rad Racer. That's the guy from Square. This was kind of the game they built right before they then moved on to create Final Fantasy and kind of changed their destiny. Here's a great one. So this is Matendoji, also known as Conquest of the Crystal Palace. So the Japanese version is very similar to the American version, except there was quite a bit of censorship in the American version, especially in, I think it was stage 3, which is like the Descent into Hell stage, where in the Japanese version the walls are made from like baby heads. It's very disturbing and very bizarre. So, yeah, if you played Conquest of the Crystal Palace, the Japanese version is just a little bit different and a little bit darker, apparently. Down to the last 3. We got Space Harrier. This was back when it wasn't so weird for Sega to have a game on a Nintendo console. I guess it's, again, not weird, but it was weird for a couple of decades. Yeah, Space Harrier. It'd be interesting to actually, I might do a comparison of this and the Master System version, just to kind of see which one held up better. What the heck are you? All right, we got something from Sunsoft. I will show it here as I try to figure out what I'm looking at. Let's see. That'd be somewhere in this history. Might have a few games I had to scroll through. Here we are. Sekiryo. Yeah, I'm not... There are certain combinations of Japanese letters that I just don't even know how to attempt a pronunciation of. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So this is, it's translated as Red Dragon King, a traditional Famicom adventure game. Huh. I don't even know what traditional Famicom adventure game would be referring to. Let's see if I can find a screenshot. This guy is obscure as heck, it looks like, because I can't really find anything about this game. Huh. That has me very interested. All right. Well. Oh, here we go. Is this a video? This is a cutscene. Okay. Oh, that's what a traditional Famicom adventure game means. This basically, if you've played any of the Uninvited, Shadowgate, Deja Vu, that style of adventure game. Pretty much the hardest genre to play if you don't know Japanese. So, you know, we'll see. Last one on the plate is Gyro. Robot Gyro, I believe, is actually, might be the full name. This one was released, what did this get released as here? Or did it just get released as... Oh! This one got released here as Gyromite. Okay, great. So this is the Famicom version of Gyromite, back for Rob the Robot. They also had one, I think it was Robot Block, which was the same series, and it came out here as Stack Up. So that one, I do not have the Robot Operating Buddy to play along with it, unfortunately. All right, so that is a bunch of Famicom games. It'd be fun to add those into my collection. Um, so yeah, the Famicom is so full of fascinating, interesting games. And now there's a whole new stack to check out. I definitely imagine I'm going to be playing some of these, maybe make some videos on some of the most interesting ones. But I'd love to know in the comments, what out of that stack did you think that you might be the most interested in getting a video on? Um, Please leave your comments down there. Let me know what you think. And also just let me know, do you like this kind of video? Just going through and talking about games that I've found and what I know about them. Yeah, I appreciate any of your feedback. Just kind of trying to figure out what makes this channel more interesting for everyone. So thank you for your time, and you have a great day.